Hello and welcome back. This is episode 21 of our Disco Elysium playthrough. Last episode we found our badge and our car. The car had not done so well. It was in the ice because we crashed it because we're the worst. Kim, as always, has been our rock, supporting us through our incompetencies. We are at the fishing village. Where potentially there is a piece of armor. Here, little girl in the fishing village. So we'll have a chat to some people and see what happens.
Hey, tequila!
A 30-something man clad in two-piece lycra tracksuit puts down his pilsner and extends his hand in
Good
greeting.
to see ya. How's business? How's the old reality situation treating ya?
Shake his hand.
So what's happening?
Wait, tequila?
Yeah, Tequila Sunset. How are the high concept reality based adventures proceeding?
He says it like it's obviously your name, like you call someone Billy Brunel or leader of the 4th Street Gang. Not too high on a 50-year losing streak.
That's harsh. I'm like 3 or maybe 4 years into mine. Wait, no. Make it 5.
He looks at his shit-stained lycra with a grim expression.
Things aren't going super well for Idiot Doom Spiral either. Haven't found those keys yet. Haven't won that great piece of arts back. No word for my business, buddies.
What do you guys do around here? Hang on, what is Tequila Sunset? You keep saying it. It's you, you're Tequila Sunset. How do you know this? We've met before, don't you remember? Nope, you sure don't. No. Aha, takes a sip from his beer. Do you want to know how Tequila Sunset came to be? Go ahead. Let's take a sip, moisten up my chords. He takes a big sip, then begins. Tequila Sunset rolled in Martinez last Friday, and by Tequila Sunset I mean you. The man, the myth. Wait, did we meet on Friday? Was I alone? Hey, let's not jump ahead of ourselves. This is your story. Stop interrupting. He takes another sip and continues. You got here Friday to solve a case, hoping to be the early bird who gets the worm. And by worm I mean the buzz, because as far as I know, all you did was get pissed drunk. Word on the street is that you went around the local hostel telling people that you're a police officer and think it would be really fucked up if you shot yourself in the head right in front of them. It's pretty high concept if you ask me. The lieutenant's brow is furrowed. He's listening as casually as he can. What happens then? It was a late Saturday night when the Union of Moribund Alcoholics were getting our drink on. Nothing remarkable about this. We get our drink on 24/7. Makes everything warm and glowy. I trust you know the feeling. One moment we hear the sound of a motor carriage revving up somewhere on the plaza, following us by a series of dings and bangs. Perception, do you remember the sound of the wood cracking, the billboard? Naturally, loud noises pique our interest of anyone owning a pair of ears. That's just the reality we're in. Naturally. Idiot doom spiral. Anyway, there was a brief silence. Sorry, I didn't read that before. There was a gas and then followed by a real commotion. We heard the carriage careening towards the coast at top speed. Sounded like someone jumped the canal. We grabbed our brewskis and rushed into the jetty. Never underestimate the speed of an alcoholic. When we saw the sight, behold, a beat-up police carriage containing you, right there on the beach. You revved the engine and screamed at the top of your lungs. The time hath come. So naturally, being the curious cat I am, I asked what time hath come, to which you replied, the time hath come for Tequila Sunset, to the end of all things. Say nothing is more dignified that way. After which your reality contracted. You jammed the pedal, ploughed right off the jetty through the ice. We ran towards the ice while you crawled your way out, miraculously unhurt, covered in seaweed and shit, like some kind of sea monster. When you finally got there, you were sitting on the beach crying. You said that your badge and uniform were in the car. It was too late to get in there though. The carriage had sunk too deep. Rhetoric. In this way, you and your motor carriage have a lot in common. Recognizing a brother in need, we offered our condolences and invited you to party with us, which you naturally agreed to. We asked about the whole Tequila Sunset thing and you told us it was your name now and insisted that we call you that from then on. My real name is Harry. No, that's just what your mother called you. Your real name is Tequila Sunset. Just embrace it, brother. How long did we party for? Hours. It was an all-night drink-a-thon. Then at some point, I think it was Sunday morning, you got belligerent and wanted to talk about Revacholian women. How they're beautiful and also whores, so on. How one of them fucked you real bad. After a short while, you crossed the event horizon, looking sullen, got up and left without saying anything. Wow, that's quite a story. Yeah, I bet Tequila's a fucking legend around the precinct. You must be proud to work with him. If you only knew. Alright. It's just a disaster. Harry, I feel for you. Did I tell you anything specific about the person that fucked me? You were pretty vague about it, but you kept saying you got fucked real hard and that we've all been fucked too. No one's fucked me. I do the fucking round here. Rosemary. Don't call me Abigail. Abigail. It seemed pretty painful, to be honest with you. If I had to guess, I'd say you're still working through some shit. Did I mention losing anything else? Besides your gun and your badge, you said something about your hope or your heart or something. To be honest, the details are a little hazy. In retrospect, I guess you lost your motor carriage too. Did I say anything about my colleagues? You told us that they were a bunch of fucking losers whose main interest was cramping your style. No specifics though, it was more about you that night. You were the star of the show. Say anything about the case? Yeah, you said it was no biggie and that you'd solve it in no time. He takes a strong quaff of his beer, and that you didn't need anyone to do it. You're doing it solo now. A lot of cops go solo and hermit once they reach that level of alcoholism. Did we talk politics? Yeah, you kept talking about how the coal mine owners were fucking us all over just like the woman fucked you. I didn't agree with you, by the way. The spectral hand of the market makes sure everyone gets exactly what they deserve. Did I agree what kind of cop I was? You kept apologising for being such a bad cop and for the damage you've inflicted on everyone around you. You also kept pausing to knock the heel of your hand against your temples, saying stupid, stupid, stupid. Don't need to hear anymore. It's a hard thing for a man to confront his past. That's why I avoid mine at all cost. What do you guys do around here? We're saving the world. Please, please don't call. Okay, we're drinking. We're drinking alcohol. That's what we're doing. I tried to save the world once, a long time ago, with enterprise, creativity and willpower, but that didn't work out. You seem to be characterized by your storytelling ability. Want to tell me another one sometime? Alright. Whoop-de-doo. So now I'm fucking storyteller. Right, why not? Better than a beach bum. Tell me how you became idiots. Doom spiral. Are you willing to help me out? You might get scammed here. I have a feeling it's going to cost me a lot. No, the reality of the situation requires a rather modest contribution. A little motivational package. What do you need? Booze. Did you already forget our party? The thing I relayed to you earlier? So have you got anything for good old idiot Doom Spiral? Commodore Red. Classy. That'll do. Before he can start, one of the other bump intro. Hey, Spiral Boy, you gonna share that? Don't call Abigail. Shut up, guys. I'm telling a story here. He turns to you. Something happened to you. Something happened to me, too. My actual name is George, but around here, you already know. I was once a reasonably high net worth individual, a founder/junior partner at my high concept creative services agency. When my story begins, I had just landed a major contract with an insurance firm. I used a profit from my agency to finance what I called cultural incubator, abstract value generation, value per person, high concept stuff. I developed the paradigm, worked within the paradigm, but the burden of leadership weighed heavily on me, so I went jogging every so often to keep myself sane. Did the jogging help? It did. With my trusty Sensoki tracksuit, I felt I could conquer the world. But now dreams are worn thin, much like my tracksuit. He says, thoughtfully brushing dust off his shit-stained pants. What happened? One day I left on my evening run. As you may know, it's impossible to clear your head when you're distracted by the sound of keys jiggling in your pocket. His eyes are clouded, his dilated blood vessels encircling irises like stinging brambles. His eyes are your eyes. So I removed the keyring and put the keys for the front gate and the apartment into different pockets. To stop the jingling, you see. At least that was the plan. I was halfway done when it started to rain. The reality situation became very wet very quickly. Go on. I made my way back home and discovered that I didn't have the key to the front gate. I mixed it up with the key to the letterbox, which was useless. Naturally, the situation required me to climb over the gate, which I did. There was no climbing down because I slipped and landed on my ass. Say nothing. Reality was looking rather grim just then, me lying on my ass in a mud pit in the middle of a heavy shower. But when life knocked me down, I always got up. So I made my way across the yard, standing in the front of my apartment door, fumbling with my pockets. I realized that I had also forgotten my apartment key. He's broken into a house. Okay, so what happened next? I rang my neighbour's buzzer. It was late, and most of them didn't even answer. Those who did assumed I was trying to sell them something, and I hung up before I could even explain. People are naturally wary of admin, you see. One moment someone chats you up, 5 minutes later you bought a box of edible lingerie and a strap-on. I don't begrudge them, especially since I was known to be one of the best. Just then I experienced a moment of clarity. I still had the key to my office. I could wait out the storm there. But when I reached my office, I remembered that I asked one of my producers to change the locks that day. And since I hired only the best, he'd already done it, and I couldn't get in. Anyway, long story short, life spiraled out of control. I haven't gotten into my apartment for years, and my girlfriend left me because she didn't want to date a homeless man. The company, well, you see where I'm going with this. So now you've heard my tragic tale. What do you think? Like nothing you've ever heard, huh? There's some steps missing. Tequila. I thought about the series of events for a long time. If there's anything else to do, I would have thought of it by now. Why didn't you go to the authorities? Well, at one point they came to see me, but I didn't have any ID on me, so they tossed me in jail for 2 days. I can't say it increased my faith in the RCM. No offense, gentlemen. Alright, I literally can't believe it. Me neither, Tequila. When I lost my keys, I lost more than access to my apartment. I lost my leverage over humanity. I wasn't a high-concept creative director anymore. I was just some homeless asshole with premium Sanquis Lycra tracksuit. You can't imagine what it does to a man's confidence. Anyway, that was the story. One bottle gets you almost empty this one. Alright, I'm sick of your stories. As you turn, a bright light catches your eye, making you squint. Where's it coming from? From a distant sunset, a stage light, flash photography, nowhere in particular. It's just what superstar law officer do. They squint at lights and they solve shit. Actually, now that I hear superstar and law official in a sentence, they sound weird together. What are you, deaf? They're perfect, like rock star politician or drug addict teacher. Embrace the superstardom you've worked so hard to establish. No. You're trash. You're, a cool trash superstar. Big dick cop down on his luck. Salam Rocky. I would have done, mid-sentence. I would have done the honourable cop, except we had to stick our finger in our ass, which was weird. Salam Rocky Bye. Badass on the edge of disco cop. Time to recede into the ludicrous fantasy world. Here we go. Camera, lights. No, fuck you. Are they all, they're all a group, are they? Going.
Don't call Abigail.
Don't call Abigail. Grumbles unshaven man with ruddy nose. He narrows his eyes as if in recognition. He turns his head away. The noxious odour emitting from the drunken man is strong and familiar.
Don't call her, you hear? Don't call Abigail.
Who is Abigail?
Oh, Abigail. Don't you fucking call Abigail.
You're not going to get anything from this guy. He's too drunk. Tell me about your friends. Don't you fucking call her. Yeah. Alright, we're going to get nothing from him. And this guy.
Good to see you, friend. Do I have deals set up for you, buddy boy?
What are you talking
So what
about?
do you want? I got smokes. They're cheap. Very cheap. I got Pilsner. Great deal. You won't get a better deal on that piss. Spirits I can let go for 300 real. Also, I have speed. And by speed, I mean amphetamine.
What does the bottle of spirits... Why does the bottle cost 300 real? See, friend. He brings out 1 litre bottle with bluish liquid. The mouth is very corked. The mouth is corked shut. It's real valuable, worth every real, if you catch my drift. Got a bit of business venture. It's funny actually. He bursts out laughing and takes 3 gulps of his pills and stares at you intently. He's finding it difficult to focus his watery gaze. What is it? What? Keep him talking. What do you mean what? What did you think was funnier earlier? This guy. He shakes his head. Where did you get this bottle from? This is medicinal spirits. The good stuff got from the doctor's office. I got one of those scientific ampules a few months ago. Torpedo, they call it. It's supposed to keep a man from taking a drink. He spits a nasty yellow clot on the ground before you. Didn't stop me from shit, that's for sure. 5 lemons with half a pack of butter and they're good to go. Sounds dangerous. It was. In a week, the goddamn kidneys started giving me all kinds of hell. Finally, the missus took me to a private doctor's office, not charity, the real thing. Those arseholes charged me 4 real to remove the damn thing. But I came out on top after all. Okay, how? The idiots left me alone in there. Now I used to teach high school biology. I know what doctors use to preserve dead things. Swipe 3 cans of this blue medicinal stuff from the back room, threw the snakes out, and voila, what's left is beautiful blue stuff. 98.7, almost pure alcohol. 2 I'd already sold to this fine gentleman here. But this last one, yours for 3 real if you want it. Don't say it. Can we sell it? 3 real and each yours. Deal of a lifetime. I may as well take it for 3. We're 1 step backwards. If you drink this, then you will die. That's a fact. And that's why you're going to save it for yourself and store this as a sellable item. Go sell it at the pawn shop for a profit. Yeah. Alright. Okay. Done talking to those fine gentlemen. Let's head over to this building here. Okay, let's have a look. I wonder if this is the little girl. Can I just take it? Oh, fair enough. Little Lily. Hello, mister. A young girl, barely 4 or 5, sits on the sofa. She's looking at you with frank curiosity. She clutches a small stuffed animal. Occasionally she twirls it around. What's this? It's a goose, she yelps, smiling broadly. Suggestion, you might be able to get on guard's good side if you replace the broken screw you almost certainly broke. Can I have it? I know someone who really likes stuffed birds. Sure, I mean you already took it. I don't like it anyway. It looked angry. Where are your parents? My mum's outside and I don't really know about my dad. She gives you a bright smile like it's a good thing. Are the twins outside your brothers? Yes, they don't want to play with me. They're older and play outside. Suddenly she starts snickering. They look the same. Ha ha ha. Sometimes I can't tell them apart. They look identical, right? I said the same thing. They look identical. What's that thing you're holding? It's Lambie. He's my friend, sort of. Like, shows the fuzzy beast up and demonstrate. Lambie is stuffed lamb that admittedly has seen better days. One of the eye buttons is missing and the fur is tattered in several places. Lambie looks soft. Yes, very soft. Suddenly she pushes the stuffed animal towards your face. Press your cheek against Lambie. Isn't he soft? She's right, Lambie is very soft. She rubs the white fur against your cheek and returns the lamb to her lap. I heard there was a girl here who had armoured gloves. Is that you? Ooh, I had gloves, very big ones, heavy too. Where did you get these gloves? Found them when Lambie and I were playing hide and seek. It's an empty house where no one lives. I think someone hid them there. She doesn't want you to think she stole them. And where are the gloves now? I hid them. The twins were going to take them. They're stupid. She lifts her stuffed toy up and looks into one of the remaining eyes, as though searching for confirmation. We're going to need those gloves. It's for important police business. Oh, she doesn't seem to understand, but the lieutenant's tone has conveyed to her the important part. They're in my sand castle. She points somewhere. Behind our house, under the sand. You can break the castle. It's not very good. Bye. The girl's large, curious eyes remain fixed on you. Thank you. Industrial coal pellets burn with orange glow. This might actually be one of the easier tasks, apart from getting to her. There's her sandcastle there. See you, boys. Here we go. Might be able to give Gart that bird. Weather has not been kind to Lily's little sandcastle. The once mighty towers were quickly eroding away. You can see something shining back from you from must have been vast underground catacomb network. Reaching the camp, pull out a shiny object. The walls and floors give way to the giant's greed. Collapse and present you with a pair of ceramic gauntlets. Congratulations, that's the gauntlets down there. We're doing good on the armor collection front. Alright. Oh, I can wear them. 2 to interfacing. What's my interfacing like at the moment? It's quite good, isn't it? 5. Yeah. I'll put them on, see what Kim has to say. As you fold your fingers into a fist, you realize you could knock anyone out with one punch. The white ceramic gloves wrap around your digits comfortably. Your movements cause tiny little cracks like dice rolling somewhere from far away as the plates reorient to your motion. Discard thought, I think. Well, you found one piece you were after anyway. Don't forget to enjoy it. Alright, we'll put our other one back on. Just trying to balance out our thing a bit. Take the bird to Gart, that's fine. What do we do with the... Alright, we've done quite a few things. What's over here? Rust Eden letters Mazout. Can we get these for Kim for his hubcaps? The retire of motor carriage adorns these roads. These reeds, sorry. Someone must have worked hard to smash the plastic dome. A metal payphone under yellow plastic dome. You could use it to call someone unless you're out of change. $0.10. Calling. Still calling. This feels wrong. Should you be doing this? End of tone. Someone picks up. Pierre? Pierre, is that you? The voice is female. Who did we call? No, this is not Pierre. Do you have news about Pierre? Who is Pierre? He's my sister's grandson. He used to visit me as a lad. Fine young man. But who you are then? A salesman of some sort? Modern goods are rubbish and I can't afford them anyhow. It's a shame what you did to our country. I don't know who I am, but who are you? I was a baroness. There's silence and then you won't get me and you won't get my money. Phone hanging up. Alright. That was random. Let's see what else we got. A dead phone, smash receiver like someone hung up too hard. You can imagine why calls become terrible sometimes. Someone's left an unidentified article of clothing on the railing. It smells really bad. Touch it. The cloth, if you can seal it, makes a soft crunching sound as you thrust your fingers into it. Take a closer look. It's streaked with dried seagull shit and tangled with pieces of seaweed. Dangling arms suggest there might be a jacket beneath the crust of filth. It seems likely that it was left in the surf until someone laid it out on this bench to dry out. Unfortunately, that just seems to have stiffened into a shapeless mass. Please tell me you're not taking that with you. Why not? It's a guano encrusted jacket. Guano. Are you already carrying around enough as is? Right, fair enough, Kim. Yes, take some things here. A makeshift roof. Vagrants have tried to make the boardwalk habitable. The tarp will keep out neither rain nor snow nor wind. A coin-operated weighing machine hasn't been used for a decade. Vagrants have recently painted the tarp red. Water drips from it. -1 to perception. No, I don't want to. I don't like losing things. I'm just greedy like that. Can we go any further? No, there's nothing here. Money. A big wine canister. It's open and empty. Moonshine probably. Smells like tasty fermentation. Oh, hang on. Is this the zoologist's wife? Perception. The smell is awful and familiar. Hold on. That is awful. What is it? Don't you recognize it? The hideous pungent, faintly cloying sweetness. Only death smells like that. Half-light. Something cold wakes in the pit of your stomach. Fear. The signs of decaying meat. It announces itself from 24 meters away. A warning, a memento. Kim. Lieutenant, something's not right here. The lieutenant has already brought a handkerchief to his nose. Was it a dead whale or something? Or is it this guy? Working class corpse. A man lies on the boardwalk, his limbs beat up, neck turned at an unnatural angle. Right next to him is an empty bottle of spirits, in his cramped hand a chewing gum wrapper. Half of his body has slipped between the cracked boardwalk. Starting with the left leg, the fall has left him broken, consorted with sad puppet. Perception. The smell is not as bad as 2-week-old corpse, but definitely heading there. Hold on. The lieutenant squats next to the corpse and examines his face. 2 bulging eyes stare back at him, void of any signs of life. Lividity is faintly pronounced. Whoever this has been dead for 2 days, no longer. He stands up and shivers as a gust of wind blows through his bomber jacket. We need to investigate. Another dead body. This is your job. Steel yourself. Calm now. Carefully. Just another day. Just another dead body. Breathe. Study the man's clothes. Sorry. He's wearing mud cake boots, beige trousers, and an old brown leather jacket with bright blue lining. There are traces of kebab sauce on his chest. The leather jacket suits him well, must be custom made. You find some sunflower seeds, a rain-soaked library card folded in 2. His jacket feels sodden and heavy under your hand. Good, we should take out the library card after this is done. Let's have a look at the man himself. The man has fallen through a crack in the boardwalk and hit his head against the metal bench. Congealated blood covers his black hair. One of his feet stood tangling through the hole. Logic. A bad fall. It might have been dark outside. This place is a minefield in the dark. Savoir-faire. When damp, these boards are really slippery. Even sober men could lose their footing. Examine his face. His expression is dull like sea behind him. Drops of water shining on his mustache. His eyes, empty and wide, look frightening in their frozen gaze. Height, 170, 175. Curly hair, stout build. Age, 50 to 60. The surroundings. There is some dried blood on the metal bench right where the corpse head rests. The floorboards are rotten and slippery, wet around a hole. An empty bottle lies nearby, chewing gum wrapper clutched in his fist. Be very, very careful where you step here. Let's have a look at his head. A dried chunk of blood covers the hair at the back of the head. An open wound, sticky and cold to the touch. That's what killed him. I don't see any other major wounds, do you? It's hard to say. Seems like the head wound was fatal. It's exactly the shape of the bench. Examine the bottle. 0.75 Tallulah. Vodka with the cap missing. There's hardly anything left inside. Tear all around us. He looks at 2 other bottles near the coin-operated viewer. And then a yellow plastic bag. I prefer if you didn't collect them this time. It's not proper. Examine the chewing gum. Robolski. Spearmint chewing gum. Green leaves on the cover. Man mouth is half agape from terror of the fall. Look in. The blackness of the death stench. You think you see white chewing gum too. Confirm, nearly the whole pack is there. Solidified with his lower rear teeth. He ate the whole pack, right? It's to cover the smell of alcohol before going home. The worst thing is, I've seen it before. Almost the same scenario, even the chewing gum. It's always the same. Step on the floorboards. I feel like this might end badly. They screech under your feet ominously. It's hard to say whether the dead man's weight is what caused the boardwalk to break. It definitely looks fragile. You see waves churning below. Something cracks beneath your feet. He could have easily disappeared into the sea through the hole, and you would never have found him. Who did this? Looks like one of the locals. Oh, who is this? Locals. He'd have to know the spot to come here. You don't just walk over here. But that's just a lazy assumption. What do you think? I think labeling as an alcoholic is a little bit premature. We don't know anything yet. We do know that he was married. Kim points to the ring on the man's hand, a flesh around swollen and grey. But you're right, let's not run ahead. For now, all we know is that unidentified middle-aged man found dead on Martinez boardwalk. What do you think happened here? Death by misadventure? He slipped and fell through the boardwalk, a truly unfortunate accident. If it wouldn't have been for that bench, he could be alive. Do you think he was drunk? Oh yes. What about the alcohol poisoning and liver failure? Some symptoms of acute alcohol poisoning could have definitely played a role here. Severe confusion, respiratory depression, unpredictable behaviour. but I think death arrived through head trauma, not liver failure. Someone should be held for the broken. It's dangerous. They'll seal this place off after the news reaches the coalition officers. I doubt they'll have enough resources to actually repair the boardwork. Not that sealing it off would keep anyone away. All it does is keep the city council's hand clean. What should we do with him? From where I stand, I can see two options. We either take the case and follow the leads to identify the body on our own, or we report back to the station and handle this for our colleagues to handle. Hold on, what about a field autopsy? A field autopsy isn't necessary if the cause of death doesn't appear to be criminal. It looks like this one's simple accident to me. I say we should just write down head trauma on the autopsy report and leave it at that. It would work to save at least 2 hours of unnecessary work. Yes, but isn't that kind of sloppy? Maybe, but we don't really have that much time or resources to spare. The guys at processing will take care of the rest. We found him. We're going to take the case, Kim. Sorry. I know. I'm a little bit disappointed, Kim. I feel like you should have been a little bit more... I think you're exhausted. You're probably exhausted from us. Alright, we should first examine the library card we found. Then we can call the station from my Kanema, let them know we're taking the case. The library card is folded into two and still slightly wet to the touch. The front side reads Central Jamrock Public Library, issued to Billy Magine, expiry July 53. Billy is a unisex name, could be deceased or his family member. Look inside. Whoever owns this card is an avid reader. You find lists of books written in blue pencil. Radio Thriller, Stand a Little Less Between Me and the Sun, The Glinting Curve. A library stamp indicates that the book has been returned. Conceptualization. Most of these titles seem to be sci-fi genre, some thrillers too. If lost, please return the card to the library. Dial blah 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 or visit Mo Street, Jamrock, business hours. Good. We should give them a call from my Kanema, see if we can learn anything about Billy Magine. Alright. We're not going to take the bottles because Kim has asked. I've been out of order for years. Stop messing with the coin view and hold on to something. The wind is so strong. There's some tear, an empty cigarette package, crumpled kebab wrapper. Examine the tear. 2 empty bottles of Tallulah and vodka and be black. It's all you can find. No, there's more in here. Livis strawberry liqueur plus some pills and bottles too. Better not pick them up. They seem unhygienic. A tragedy. Cigarette packet? Whoever tossed this here was a heavy smoker. Brand name reads Red Astra. Red Astra is the black market version of Astra, known for their high tar contents. And the kebab? You see traces of mayonnaise and ketchup on it, as well as tomato wedge. The wrapper reads Shish Kebab Revachol. It's no older than a day or two, no mold yet. It's hard to concentrate in the smell. The sea air brings some relief. Alright, well, now I've got 2 dead bodies that I need to sort out. One's kind of sorted, but it's now added to my to-do list, which, as you know, adds to my OCD requirements to get the list down. It's not too bad. Oh, hang on, we didn't check this out. I can take these ones, can't I? Did we go down here before? No. Bars cover these long dusty windows. The remaining window rattles from a strong gust of wind. They're covered in thick layer of grime. They must have been like this for 40 years. Try and see inside. Dripping water falls from high places. All you can see is the shadow of collapsing staircase. There's rust and corrosion on the bars. They're foaming with it, and small layer of white salt from the sea. Kim. No, I won't even try, you know. I had a partner once, they called him Eyes because he had to show me things. It's that bad. Can you still shoot though? Well enough actually. It's odd how that works. I'm no sharpshooter, but I passed my shooting course 7 out of 10. Alright, well, that's fine, Kim. Oh, people. Failed mural. You see a once bright mural towering above you. The signage has peeled off over the years, but you can still make out Feld Electric R&D. A slogan used to intertwine the loops of long time ago. Now only a shadow of peeled letters remains. It says tomorrow is just a whisper away. Looks like tomorrow never came. Let's talk to...
And Mikhail, notice the windows, especially with how there are no windows on the south side. This was to deal with.
A blonde man stands next to his son, pointing to the weather-worn ruins. He sees you approaching and smiles.
You, officers, come to investigate the historic subtext of West Martinaise. I'm Trant Heidelstadt. You must be Kim Kitsuragi, right? I was just telling my son about this building. Not a lot of people realize the historic significance here. Very rich in hypertext.
Nice to meet you.
You and Kim know each other?
No, I can't say that we've met before, but I've heard of Kim, of course. Mikhail, say hi to the officers.
He rests his hand on the boy's shoulder. The child stays hidden behind them of his father's coat, clutching onto the warm, themed colouring book.
Mikhail's a little tired today. We spent all night trying to run Orbis on his radio computer. Have you heard of it? It's a programming language used in Grad. Quite tricky, but he wanted to play this Grad-made adventure program. We've been getting really into worms lately.
The man speaks in the artificial cadence of a professor or someone who's been to many
But I
radio
assume
shows.
you're not here for giant worms, when there are so many real things to see. Just as I was telling Mikhail before, this is where the Coalition landed in '08. We could be standing on what is the most interesting landmark in Revachol West.
He points to the building again. This man is your half-brother. You feel it. But why? Wow. Get a load of this guy. He really enjoys his trivia. The Orbis programming language was named after its inventor, Victor Orbis, a cybernetician from Grad. They run Vox in Occidental country. What's so fascinating? Aha, but it's not just any old empty building. He raises his hand. All four of you turn to admire the mural before you. What not a lot of people know, this used to be the R&D department of Feld Electrical, and Feld, which now sells ink cartridges, mostly was once top dog in turn-of-century cybernetic boom. Hold on, what's R&D? Research and development. Look at the building looming over you. It looks like an old weathered, with seagulls picking it apart, stone and metal carcass. Bushy undergrowth has taken hold of the collapsed rooftop. Some kind of bird has set up a nest on a broken windowsill. I don't think I've ever heard of Feld Electrical. That's not surprising. Only a Vestigo ink cartridge and Ferrio tape manufacturer remains. They stand on a Midway Electronics outfit in Konstantin 2 centuries ago. After an aggressive move to Revachol, Feld became a global player in the emergency personal electronic market of the pre-revolutionary era. Still, Tricentennial was beating them in business machines. He gestures towards the building. But Feld had an ace up their sleeve. Or should I say they were developing an ace up their sleeve. I'm mixing my metaphors up. What's their ace? It was here in Martinaise, possibly in this very building, that they developed prototypes for tape computer. A tape computer? An elegant folding mechanism of rollers and ferro tape ribbons, portable enough to be take-in-home solution, revolutionizing business and machines, possibly even bringing them to the average consumer, which is a feat of engineering even today's giants Ream, ICN and ZAM haven't even achieved. He assumed something like that combat stance facing the wind. What happened? Indeed what? The revolution, the boy wipes his nose on his sleeve. He nods. Unfortunately, their moonshot project never made it to the market. Feld's move to Revachol backfired. The revolutionary government liquefied their assets and expropriated those very advanced prototypes, possibly from this very building, or one of their adjacent ruins. He pauses and look at the other building. All of this was built by Feld, even the boardwork. Wild Pines built Martinaise proper as a resort for their middle management. Feld built this side of town for R&D. What happened to the engineers, the company, the people? I'm afraid it didn't end well for the boys. He smiles as if he's somehow personally responsible for this bleak turn of events. But this story is a bit too dark for little Mikhail here. Now if you were to ask about tape computers... Wait, is he saying we should just bypass the excessive revolution? Tape computers, right. What did the revolutionaries do with the tape computers? They used them for military communications, he says while his son looks up, idly chewing at the corner of his worm-thermed colouring book, but also to write and send out press releases, the most notorious example being Le Décret de Mars. What was that? What's the March Decree? I mean, the radio transmission sent out to news agencies and world governments by the newly created commune of Revachol on the 7th of March. A short-lived legislative foundation for short-lived utopia. It's a beautiful piece of text, actually. A singer-songwriter I know, Charette, called it a love poem to Revachol on her political concept album, Bons Beziers des Inlindi. You should read it. Every local library in Revachol stocks a copy of the decree. I tried to get Mikhail to memorize it. He looks at his son, who starts giggling, his face hidden. Or well, tried to. Someone was too interested in playing in worms to be paying any attention. The kid takes a peek at the green and silver worm on the cover of the book, already forgetting about the part of the discussion. How did the tape computers work? Actually, no one knows. No one even knows what the computer made entirely of tape would look like. But word has it they were very elegant, exquisite, alien-looking turn-of-the-century hardware. Buckle up. 10 years ago, I did a little freelancing, I guess you could say. I was a special consultant for an exhibition at the Wompty Dompty Dom Centre in Verdefort, Orgien. It raised the same questions, and we had a lengthy discussion with Paul Ockerman, who was the head curator at the time. This was before the twins Keith and Guy lost joined the team. Wait, did he just say Wompty Dompty Dom Centre? He did. He said Wompty Dom is like the most natural thing in the world. What the hell is a Wompty Dom Dom Centre, and who the hell are Keith and Guy juiced? Yeah. The Wompty Dompty Dom Centre for Contemporary Art. This again, those words. The exhibition itself drew Lagerman's notion of memory, so there were some parallels. That's why the head curator Paul Ockerman chose to... He's making it up. In fact, I'm not. The Wompty Dompty Dom Centre, he says casually, is a place you can visit if you're ever in Verdefort and are ever in the market for an exhibition space / contemporary art research centre. Wompty Dompty Dom. -1 to suggestion. Is that only while it's happening? Temporary research bonus -1. For an hour and 15. Oh, that's alright. I haven't been reading these correctly. Never mind. But perhaps I should return to the tape computers. As I was saying, the device itself was very elegant, fragile even. One could write directly onto the tape using special chemical solution. The machine would then analyze the handwriting, perform an operation, and project output onto a white screen. It was a beautiful, delicate thing. Made from black film and folding tape structures. Yeah, I see, I'm sure we'll get some of those. Even one would be very useful. Though I understand the socio-economic causes of the revolution, it pains me to imagine the revolutionaries setting fire to the precious device. But so they did. The failed playback experiment finished in the fires of 07. Why did they destroy it? Who knows? Maybe it was an accident, or maybe they didn't want the technology to end up in the wrong hands. Either way, they're all gone now. All 3 versions of the prototype. Nothing but debris and ashes to remains inside the building. Okay, let's ask something else. Done. No, thank you for having me little Mikhail here pick your brain. A very interesting conversation. Pick your brain. If anything was rather one-sided. He did the talking. Whatever. Another power box. It charges nothing now. It's empty. The fence blocks the path. No way from here. Alright. Had a look at that. I really did wish I had a map, because I... Thank you for tab, I would have missed that. Alright, now we're back here. I don't think we've finished exploring the village. This is not the village. Is it? No. Probably put my bag down. Another building. Just a church. A kick drum pulse. The music is coming from somewhere on the ice. You feel the shadows of a very large building fall on you. St. Brune. Yeah, this is the church. Dusty pews in the shadow. Many seem to be missing. Take some money. An ultra shroud in dark or something like that. It's too dark to tell. Alright. Let's go into the church next. I think we'll wrap it up there for this episode. I think finding the gloves. We ticked off a few things, but we also found a dead body as well. So, one step forward, two steps back, perhaps. Any suggestions or anything for the channel or for the series, I would really appreciate it. Apart from that, thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you next time.